There is yet another really big update coming to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, plus some info on all of the bugs, and a new update just dropped while I was making this video addressing some of those bugs, plus some new info on the DLC, like Henry's Forge. On a side note, all the free Twitch drops armors came to the game for free, so if you felt like you missed out because you didn't donate like 8 hours of your time to streaming or playing a stream on a second monitor, you can now get the Warhorse armor, which is probably one of the best looking sets here, the Thief outfit, and the Alluring Wreath. I actually missed out on the Alluring Wreath, so I mean, I guess it's cool that I can have it now, but I doubt I'll ever wear it. All you have to do to get these is link your Pros account to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. You can do this from the main menu by going to the Extras options here and scroll on down to the Pros account section. From there, just scan the QR code or type the link into a web browser. You can find all of these armors inside of your chest, Henry's stash, but it's not as easy as it was during the Twitch drops where you just got it for free for watching streams. They have the list for each challenges here on their website, so like for the Warhorse armor, for the helmets you have to pick 50 herbs, the boots perform 5 combos, travel 30 kilometers on horseback for the comparison on your horse, and so on. You can see all of them here for each of the challenges that you have to do, and then they'll be inside of your stash. A lot of these aren't like super hard to do, like if you've played the game a bit, you've probably already done at least some of these things. Recently we got the update patch 1.2 which brought us the barber, official mods, plus a ton of new features. Just take a look at the patch notes here. It brought us some new content, fixed some stuff, and broke some more stuff, arguably breaking more than it fixed. I couldn't even launch the game because it was stuck on the main menu, so I had to uninstall and reinstall my game. I said that in my last video and a lot of you guys were like, just restart it, just restart your PC, blah blah blah. And dude, I tried all of that, nothing worked. I had to reinstall the game, and that is the only thing that I could do to fix it. Well, someone did comment saying that you have to lay down a World of Hurt on your keyboard after getting past the barber notification. Maybe that works, I never tried that. Other people lost all of their saves. Their saved games are apparently unplayable, or just have minor issues like with how you can no longer sleep in your bed at some of the taverns like in Takov, where it will just say you're trespassing even if you're permanently purchasing the bed already. Which is funny because this patch was supposed to fix like issues with you sleeping in NPCs' beds to where they all no longer like want to attack you just for sleeping in the wrong bed, but now it might be even worse. Once this is fixed, I mean, it'll be nice though, because if you sleep in a bed like the one here at the camp, you can see an example of what it's supposed to be like, where before they just want to absolutely rip your head off for trying to sleep in their bed, like you fucking killed their dog or something. But now they just wake you up. You basically just wake up, and if you hang around for a long time, they'll be like, get out of here. Get out of here, you old whippersnapper. This video has been brought to you by a game you might have heard of, who is celebrating its 6th anniversary, and it's one of the biggest anniversary updates I've seen. For one, they're giving out some of the best characters for completely free that I really wish I could have had when I first started playing. If you scan my QR code or click the link down in the description, you can grab yourself the Epic Champion Starter Pack worth $60, which includes Zargala. And as someone who picks Orc in pretty much every game that they play, god damn. If you enter the promo code Supreme6, you can get the legendary champion Supreme Gaelic. Then enter the promo code Monkey King to earn Sun Wukong. This one's a little last minute, but if you hurry up, you can grab Alice the Wanderer for logging in for 7 days. This is the best time to start playing, not just for the free champions, but because the update brings a ton of quality of life updates that have completely changed the game, causing even more players to come back to it on top of the millions who are already playing it. There are background battles that allow you to focus on other things while the game does the work for you to allow for less grinding, plus it's easier to upgrade your heroes to 6 stars. Raid Shadow Legends is available on mobile and PC, where you can have multiple accounts, and if you want to quickly advance, start with the campaign, move on to dungeons, then the clan boss, and finally the arena. Click my link down in the description or scan the QR code to grab all of these really cool rewards. You can come find me under the name Astrosiv, and also join my clan called Astro's Minions. Thank you to Raid for sponsoring this video. My mutt is currently broken. Ever since I sent him back to venture on his own, he will no longer follow me, and I did this to try and show, like in the update they added some icon to make it easier to find mutt after you send him back. I don't know what that looks like still because he's just been stuck. My mouse cursor from the pause menu is permanently on my screen. The main story is currently broken for anyone who started and did not finish the Into the Underworld quest before the patch 1.2. The frame rate and bugs are just a lot worse than it was before, man. And I had a comment on my last video saying that they lost their entire saved game because they accidentally started a new game. And I was like, huh. I didn't know games still did that, not allowing you to at least have a couple of saves and just erasing your entire game. But it's not just that. I never really noticed that the new game option is in the pause menu. So if you're trying to save your game and just you accidentally misclick and you're not fully paying attention, partially because the save game option is right below new game, and also because it is different. If you try to start a new game, it gives you a bunch of different confirmations. Like, you have to get through a couple of different pages to approve this and actually start a new one. But the process is somewhat similar to just saving a game. I mean, you click save, select a file or select new save file, and then confirm it. So if you're not really paying attention, voila, there you go, you just deleted your entire game. The only reason I think this is here is because you can't get back to the main menu from in-game unless you fully close it. So, like, you have the ability to start a new game and delete everything from the pause menu, but you don't have the option to just go back to the main menu. Just to make saving slightly more difficult for anyone who doesn't want to have to reload the game every single time they save and quit to save scum. I mean, people are still going to do it. I've done this a lot. I will save scum my ass off, so you might as well just let people go back to the main menu. I've complained about not being able to access the room with the blacksmith in Tarkov in like 3 different videos now, and guess who responded? Well, not the developers, but one of you guys. And they had a 2000 IQ plan that said, throw some rocks at the door to get the blacksmith's wife to open the door.
What's going on here?
And wah freaking law, dude, it actually worked. I mean, it makes sense, but I just never would have thought about this. If this guy comments on this video, give him a round of applause. If you've had any issues I didn't mention, I mean, leave it down in the comments, there's plenty. I've seen people saying, like, whenever they go to their map, it's like way zoomed out in the opposite direction, so they just have like a minor inconvenience of having to scroll back to Henry every single time they open the map. There's bugs where just animations aren't playing. The AI seems like it's definitely gone down a notch. I don't really know if it's just in my head at this point or if the AI is actual like doo-doo. But anytime I pillage a village, all of the guards just run away. I don't know, maybe it's just my intimidation. I figured we would be getting a patch soon to address some of this, and they actually just dropped patch 1.2.2, which actually fixes a good portion of the bigger stuff. If you're renting a room now, you will no longer be trespassing, like the tavern in Zeliot, for example, where this was happening a lot. I couldn't even sleep in my bed. Oh, that's fixed now. I even tested it. It's actually working. As you can see on the pause menu, there's no longer the new game option, which we just talked about, where people were overwriting their game and completely deleting their save. You can have multiple saved games, by the way, if you start on the second play line. I think you can have up to 5. It's not just one, so people who were deleting their game were also overwriting that first play line. The Into the Underworld quest should be fixed. I'm past that point already, but that's one of like the 5 things that were fixed in this patch. So if you were stuck in the story from not being able to find Goatskin, he wouldn't appear, you should be able to do that now. And then for PS5, they fixed some of the artifacts that were popping up in performance mode. I actually think someone was complaining about that in my comments. And then they fixed that main menu issue where the barber pop-up notification was breaking the main menu. Also, they didn't mention it here, but I loaded back an old save to test whether or not the bed in Tarkov was working again from this patch, and mine actually was fixed. So in this patch, you might not need to even have the blacksmith's wife open the door to Tarkov's bedroom. Let me know if that's the case for you. All of the issues in the game is a shame though, because I mean, other than some of the bugs that were already there before patch 1.2, I mean, it is a shame though, because other than some of the bugs that were definitely there before the update, I mean, I talked about bugs being in the game back before patch 1.2 and everyone was like, no, the game's not that buggy, and it really wasn't this buggy, but it had some issues. There were people complaining about this sort of stuff all over the place. But patch 1.2 made this stuff significantly worse, and it looks to be souring a lot of people's opinions on the game. And excluding those bugs, I mean, 99% of this game has only massively improved on the original. So it kind of sucks. Everything has gotten better, except maybe if you wanted the combat to be as hard as the first game was. But like I've said before, it only makes sense why Henry isn't as weak as he used to be. I like the fact that they didn't just completely reset him after everything we went through in the first game. Luckily though, we have a lot more content coming soon to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 after all of these issues are patched out. This spring, so anytime from basically now until June, we will be getting hardcore mode, and I'm excited for that. It might be the #1 thing I'm looking forward to, and I didn't even use it in the first game all that much. I think I played hardcore for like maybe a few hours, but I just really want more of a reason to replay the game at this point. I've talked about the death screens before and how when you started a new game in the original, at least a new hardcore game, it basically rolled the dice to tell you whether or not you already got a game over before the game even started. You hit hardcore mode, start a game, and it just pops up telling you that you died from childbirth or from one of the various diseases out there, or just anything that might be impacting a child in medieval times. When you started, you also had to pick up at least 2 debuffs, a tapeworm, night terrors, or anything that would nerf Henry and make him get worse sleep, or mess with his hunger, or anything like that. Anything that basically already made the game difficult, it takes that and just times it by 10. I can't wait to see what they'll add with the second game because, like I said, just about everything has been improved so much and added so much more that I'm excited to see what they can even do to add even more to it, because I thought this was one of the coolest details you could add in any hardcore mode. The random death screens and debuffs you had to pick up made the hardcore mode super interesting. Which, by the way, if you wanted like ultra hardcore mode, you could take those debuffs and not just pick 2, but pick even more. You could even pick all of them if you just hated yourself or wanted that much more of a challenge. Horse races will be coming soon within the next couple of months, this spring as well, which might be a decent source of money making. You know, I'm not all too excited about the horse races update. The horse races in the main story weren't all that complex or anything. I didn't really have that much fun with them. There's a racetrack located over here in Sameen. I think there's a pretty high chance this will be where the horse races go. So kind of interesting, you get an actual track if that is the case. After that update, or updates, we'll start getting the actual expansions, starting with the Brushes of Death, dropping somewhere between June and September, you know, the summer. The Legacy of the Forge DLC will be allowing us to restore a forge, and sounds somewhat similar to the From the Ashes DLC from the first game. This is where we'll become a master blacksmith. I'm hoping maybe that means tier 5 weapons or upgrading armor to tier 4 or something of that sort. That would be pretty sweet. We know it's going to be located in Kuttenberg. A lot of people think that means Kuttenberg City and not the actual region itself, but this place already feels clustered as hell, man. I hope they mean the actual region. Henry's father, Martin, used to own a forge in Kuttenberg, and some minor spoilers here if you're not all the way through the story, but you can get some more details on that when talking to Samuel's mom during the story.
He wanted to open a blacksmith shop in town, but there was no place among your people, so he tried his luck in our quarter.
So Martin owned a forge in the Jewish quarter. Some people are thinking that is where we'll be setting up shop as well and restore his forge, but I cannot find anywhere where there might be an abandoned forge here. I mean, not even in the city of Kuttenberg itself. However, there is an abandoned forge outside of the city. This is actually more of an abandoned village that also contained a forge, and even though I think it's reasonable to assume we could be restoring Martin's forge and continuing his legacy, this is like the perfect location for this DLC to take place. Especially if it's like anything from the first game's From the Ashes DLC where you basically built an entire town. This was a pretty ambitious expansion for the first game, so I'd be surprised if they dulled down this DLC so much to where they only give you a forge and nothing else out of it. I got some of this information from this guy's Reddit post here, and according to Inara.com, there is currently a disabled minor quest called At the Blacksmiths that takes you to this location, and the description for it reads, "A group of Masala's bandits has threatened to kill me if I don't do some blacksmithing for them." The location, by the way, is all the way down here, kind of like southern portion of the map. If you come here, you'll find an NPC named Benesh of Württemberg, who, according to that disabled quest, is its quest giver. So there's an NPC here who, according to this data, is forcing you to forge him something at this abandoned forge. So did they just scrap this whole area, scrap the quest? I really think this is where we'll be at for the Legacy of the Forge DLC, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments. We also have the Monastery DLC coming, and that would pretty much wrap up everything that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has planned. But yeah, thanks for watching, subscribe for more Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 videos, and thank you to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring the video. Don't forget to click the link down in the description and claim all of the free stuff that I went over. See ya.